when I was telling him, I don't care about how hard you're trying, I care about results.
Are you talking about your business or your family?
I got you good.
I'm talking about the...
Oh, sorry. Oh, wow. Oh, sorry. I'm Nick Slavic. I'm the proprietor of the Nick Slavic Painting and Restoration Company. I'm also the host of Ask a Painter Live. It's a weekly live Facebook show where I use my 2 decades of experience as a craftsman and an entrepreneur to help answer questions. I don't have all the answers, but the people who watch this, the forum that we have, these people do have the answers. And especially here, we are in Arizona with some of my favorite people in the industry, and we are face to face, and we are at the...
We're in Phoenix. It's also known as it's a sprawling suburb. It's known as the city of the Valley of the Sun. It's the southwesternmost state in the Union.
Patience.
Its official colors are gold and blue. And we're at the PCA Expo.
The PCA Exposition, the Paint Contractors Association. This is our big one for the year. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of contractors are here from all over North America, and we are talking about our businesses. And this is an amazing event. It's 3 days of hardcore stuff. People fill notebooks, they drink from the fire hose, they try to decompress, and then they go back to their businesses, and employees watch out. Right? Like these people are coming loaded with ideas from people all over the country. And one of the things that I was always surprised with a bunch of years ago when I first came here was you can ask anybody anything and they'll tell you whatever their experience is. So
very open. And most people we've ever had 20% increase over last year that I've been around since. Most people I've ever seen.
Yes.
Over 20% increase from last year.
Yep.
And about a third of the hands were new people. So a lot of new blood coming in.
First day of this thing, we all sat in this room. We filled this ballroom up, and somebody said, "Who's all the new people here?" And it was a lot of them. It was a lot of them. And
about a third.
That is, that's very good. That's very good. So we're talking about takeaways from the expo. That's one of the favorite things we like to talk about. We've sat through 3 days of education. We've had hours and hours and hours of time in hallways, after hours, dinners, bars afterwards, and sort of intermingling of ideas. So, Christian Militello, one of my favorite guys, also board member of the PCA. Takeaways, what are your thoughts this year? What's interesting to you?
For me, it's always the networking with other contractors. The stuff that goes out in the hallways out there over the coffee, water, after hours events.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. It's good camaraderie.
You can't get that on the internet.
Yeah, it's
I like
tough.
my cowboy hat.
Oh, yes, we should mention
That's
too
one of my
that
favorite takeaways.
one of the coolest things of the expo, one of the most unique things is that we have 2 great industry partners,
Champions,
Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams, and they are so gracious because they each pick a night and they
just go crazy.
They go crazy.
No budget.
There probably is some end to it, but it certainly doesn't seem like it. The way that everybody eats and drinks and has a good time.
So we had a rodeo.
We had a rodeo
last night.
That was last night. Yes. It still feels like it's going on.
Yeah, went to a rodeo, and like you said, Sherwin-Williams went all out, as they usually do.
As they do, yeah. They never disappoint. A couple of years ago, pirate ship. This year, rodeo. You get off the bus, there's a mariachi band playing, they hand you a cowboy hat, there's tables full of Coronas and margaritas, and then...
Everybody's just yelling, and it's exciting.
It's amazing. Yeah, they know how to do it. This is not their first time, so it's really good. And Benjamin Moore, too, one of the first nights we were here, beautiful courtyard outside, there's music, there's drinks, there's food. Yeah, it's really good. But it just allows everybody to let down the sword and shield, camaraderie, talk.
Wonder what kind of party will be next year.
Orlando,
Orlando, maybe SeaWorld.
Awesome. That would be awesome. So we got Chris Shank here. We're not going to be in the same room and you not either drop a knowledge bomb on us, some deep thought. So Chris Shank.
What's your role at the PCA?
Huh?
What's your role at the PCA?
My role at the PCA is Education Director.
What are you helping contractors do?
We help contractors build better. I forget what the line for the podcast is. What is it? You say it.
Hi, I'm Chris Shank, the Education Director of the PCA, helping painting contractors have the education and connections they need to grow their painting companies.
Right.
1 gallon at a time. We take the paint out of painting.
Cover the earth.
That's another photo.
Chris Shank, you you got some deep thought for us? Something you gathered?
I really liked Business Anatomy. I really liked the story of
Yes.
Chad Jeffries. And it was kind of like, it shows what you can do in this painting industry. It's kind of like from nothing. What can you do from nothing?
Not only was that a beautiful story, that was one of the best produced pieces of content in our industry that I've seen. It's amazing. I mean, that is just...
Philip is coming to Florida next year.
Oh, nice.
Philip,
Phil Klein, our friend Phil Klein, even though he's from Iowa.
yeah. Dude, Florida's going to be a big draw for people.
Nice.
So.
That's awesome. So, all right, any other deep thought, a nugget, a takeaway? Board member of the PCA, Jason Paris?
Big takeaway. It was something I heard in the halls. And so again, this was not even, so there's amazing classes.
Yes.
And you get great nuggets out of those. But it was just, I was talking to somebody in the hall and they said, hard work gets you to the top, character keeps you there. And I thought that was really cool to hear. You can't outrun character forever. You can out sprint it for a little bit to get to the top, but if you want to stay there over the long term, character is what keeps you there. And so I just, again, not related to any of the discussion panels that we had or the teachings, but when you kind of intermingle with a lot of great people and a lot of entrepreneurial spirit people and just good men and women of industry, these nuggets kind of flush out sometimes.
I agree. You didn't finish your thought, Chris Shank. We still need...
No, I was actually, to me, I would be curious to hear what you guys liked from the education actual sessions that stood out. What was, that's what, but don't let me take the group over in Poland.
No, that's okay. Favorite education session. We got a whole table here full of people. So favorite education session.
Probably the hiring. How do we figure out what skill sets, what aptitudes, and so forth?
Yeah.
That was very powerful.
Absolutely. And that was Danny Kerr with
Yes,
ETA. Yep.
ETA.
Yep.
And so all that ability to be able to understand the personality types, as well as then how we need to motivate those types, and then be able to account for it properly.
I like it. Anybody else have a favorite education session?
Yeah. Mine was the online digital marketing session. It's always kind of been a mystery to me, so I got a lot of good insights on how that stuff works, and I feel like I'm more prepared to kind of tackle that when I get back.
Nice.
I'm excited to do that.
Was that a workshop too? Or was that...
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was like a 2-part workworkshop.
Oh, nice.
And
educational that we actually worked on.
one of the things you were like, oh, I need to change that? That thing that he said is like my first thing to take back.
I think I just need to be better about posting and making content regularly. Something I've been bad at. I have all these pictures, and my Facebook page is a post, a month ago, and then 2 months ago. I really got to be more regular with that. That can go a long way on Instagram and social media.
Okay.
It's just something.
Show of hands at this table. First Expo. Who's got first Expo? Any big takeaways? If you don't mind doing it live to the internet world.
I really enjoyed Stacy's Women in the Industry class. It was. I'm definitely out there in the field every day, so it helps to get her input on how she trains people and
Nice.
stuff like that.
It really helps seeing other people doing what you're doing sometimes, just as a nice, it's a good reminder of what we're doing. So, yeah.
Were there other guys in that class? I mean, like, this was the hiring women class, right?
Yes. There was a ton of guys.
Because I think that's who needs to mostly attend it.
Yeah, there was probably 60% women, 40% men.
Oh, okay, good.
And a lot of guys asked a lot of the questions.
Okay.
So that was really cool.
Ron, do you have a favorite?
I like the panel discussions, the
yeah.
subcontractor versus employees.
Yep.
And then today had commercial, how to get your foot basically into the commercial. And do you really want to get into commercial?
Any bit of surprising information or a nugget that you take away from it?
We don't right now use subcontractors, but just to get the overall feel of the audience, how all the other painting contractors, what they felt about it. And some of the points they had about talking to customers of who's working with you. Are they your employees? You're not your employees. So it was really nice to, as it is always coming to these things, to hear what other people have to say, but also, we all think these things, but we never ask them. But when there's 100 people, at least that place was packed. Those were both packed.
I think a lot of us suffer from the lone wolf syndrome, which is we're out on our own. We don't normally mingle with other paint contractors. We try to solve problems on our own, and this is so helpful. It's just
That doesn't sound like anybody we know, Nick Slavic.
Yeah, I spent.
It goes more than that because sure, we're all painters and we're across the United States and we're our lone wolf.
Yeah.
But when you see like a girl that's got 70 employees,
Yeah.
and when you see there's people that have put CRMs, they've taken the time away from painting to put a process and control procedure into place and utilize that and be successful with it, that's huge.
Yeah.
Some of the classes that I thought, the Apex Predator, the Art of War and Sales, those are great. But then when you go to Breakthrough Academy, something that was as simple as a hiring practice,
Yeah.
to me that was across the board worth it right there. I've hired 2 people that were a serious bad issue, right? And I didn't do
Nobody here has
anything.
ever experienced that before.
No, but the stuff that they had as a process and procedure they have in place that they're offering for free,
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that. That's why it was a failure. So that's
incredible.
my biggest takeaway out of this.
That's good. Yeah.
Excellent.
Nick LaGrasso, hit us.
said it all.
Hit us with something. What was your? You have one of the most famous lines about Expo that I repeat to everybody.
Oh, it makes me want to do this for another year.
Exactly.
I've been doing this for a long time. In my 17th year as a painting contractor, I think this is my 11th Expo.
Wow.
And I still learn stuff. Mainly, it's in the hallways and at the events. But Annie Newton's blew me away today.
Oh, Annie's substantial.
Yeah.
I'm not worthy of all the stuff she does. And I thought the art of sales and war, or whatever it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just the overall vibe here is really good. And I'm wondering if it's because there was so many new people. It was when I saw those hands go up, I was like, "This is great."
It brings energy and a fresh
fantastic.
perspective.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
there's
very good.
it's not uncommon to walk the hall and meet somebody who left a finance career and is now the owner of a trades company, and that's a brand new look at what we're all doing. So, yeah.
But I mean, the real reason I come is for all. It's the people.
Yeah.
What do you guys get?
I mean, these are all my long distance friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an excuse to go see them all, and they'll pump you up and be like, "Yeah, I beat you last year," and be like, "I got to do that thing. I can't let them do that again." Yeah, it's good stuff.
What do you guys get out of new people? Like seeing them here, it's a good feeling knowing it's growing, but your interactions with new people, how does that benefit people who've been coming year to year to year?
So I'm here year 2, so I'm still relatively new, but I got so much out of talking to people and learning from them that it felt great to be able to share some things that I picked up and help somebody else out. That's energizing to me, and it almost makes me think through it and makes my business better while teaching somebody else.
Yeah.
And
So it's not just coming here and absorbing everything else. Another huge benefit is being able to translate that back or give back to somebody else. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not one of the guys like when Art and I first showed up in Dallas in like 05. And we walked in and we were those new guys, right? And everybody's just, have a beer with us. We'll tell you anything you want to know. And then I'm like, man, I'm having troubles with this. And it was like Joel Hamburg at the time was helping me do stuff. And I forget some of the older names, you know what I mean? But it was just, now we're those guys. And they come up to us and it's like, anything you need, man. That's why we're here. And
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It keeps rolling over like that.
It feels good to be able to share
If all
something with a new guy that you learned here.
Yes.
Yeah. So if it's all the same guys here
Yeah.
and gals every time, there's no learning going to happen. Everybody's just, you know, so
Couple-
it's nice to have a
Couple final thoughts. Anybody?
Well, I was fortunate to have the best of both worlds because I brought my son here for the first time. And when we went up to the having a beer at the bar, I'm from
We drink beer
Boston,
here?
but
Beer drink?
he said, "Why aren't we using any of these training videos?" You know, so it brings a new. Because we're trying to train ourselves, so we realize we can't do it ourselves, and the tools that were shared here this week were just. So I got a bunch of new ideas from someone else now, but I have to implement.
Nice. And Brian, did you have?
Well, really, it's a matter of perspective here. I think we're emerging of the old and the new. So what's next? And that's what's exciting about being part of PCA right now. It's like we are now taking all the professionalism and we're pushing it forward with new technologies, new attitudes, as well as training programs and everything that's coming up. And so it's elevating our craft where it should be.
It sounds like there's a lot of questioning going on. You know, I think if there's one thing that this group does very well, it seems that we sort of rally against the we've always done it this way sort of thing. I think people are starting to question every single thing that's usually an assumption, and we're moving forward now. So yeah. Jason Paris, want to hit us with any other deep thoughts before we before we sign off here?
So I would say an event like this has a lot of momentum.
Yes.
We'll all carry it in the upcoming months. We all got a lot of new tools, a lot of exciting things. I feel like the next year's one is going to be the real deal. This feels like a stepping stone to next year a little bit, because this was like a shift from what I saw, and just like the first year I see numbers really bump up.
Yes.
And I've seen a massive amount of new people. And so I'm excited for Orlando to see how that carries over into the next event.
By the way, I don't know if you guys heard that it was 143 new contractors here this year.
Amazing.
I'm sorry, I said contractors, but contractors or employees, their employees.
Yeah.
So we heard 20, and that was, somebody said that wrong, but it was 50 at first when we were tracking numbers, and then that's why you saw hands go up. Also, there's a lot of new vendors and sponsors, or mostly vendors and exhibitors is what I meant.
Yep.
Which is still cool too, because that means that the industry is hearing about this, and that's going to bring more new people.
But you know what's neat, Chris, is how many painters aren't here and aren't members of PCA that, I mean, we could like triple this thing.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
still not even scratch the surface of how
We
many
went to the
painting
trunk
contractors
rally,
are out there.
and I saw 3 or 4 painters just driving around the city on their own, thinking like, how come you guys aren't taking advantage of this?
330,000 painters, paint contractors
330,000.
in the United States. So, yeah. And I will say, we love marrying data and feelings. The feeling is what Nick Lagrasso said, which is this makes me want to be a painter for another year. And the data that I can give you is that I was very unintentional with my professional life up until somebody dragged me into this, Chris Schenk. Chris Schenk introduced me to
In New
this.
Orleans, right?
And I was introduced to the PCA, and then magically, if you look at the data, the hockey stick curve starts on the day I met the PCA. So if that's not a compelling enough argument for something like this.
And people learned from you right away, because also if it wasn't just the information, it's the passion. Because new people can help you with that feeling of doing it another year, saying, you know what, we can do this. Like, that's what new people are bringing, that passion, that excitement, which we all need. It's hope.
Slavic didn't show up with any head trash. He didn't know how.
Are you kidding? Do you
he,
know
he
me?
didn't know how PCA. No, I'm talking in terms of the organization. He didn't know how it was supposed to be. He didn't know there was councils and local meetings, and then he starts blasting out Ask a Painter, and that's like it's all changed since you guys kind of got together and started all this. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
it
awesome.
is
So, all right, everybody.
Agree to me like that, Paris.
Honestly, thanks everybody for watching. This is a magical event because I come here and there's 75 people that I correspond daily on social media, and we finally get to press the flesh here, and it's awesome, and it's so awesome, and I just can't tell you, it's been Expo number 5 for me. I still just get an immense amount out of this. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for Chris Schenk. You have been awesome with the getting gone all of a sudden. So he's up at the podium. The PCA, thank you for putting this on. This is a huge undertaking, and all of us are grateful. So from all of us paint contractors, entrepreneurs, visionaries, implementers here, thanks everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.